think I figured out who's busting up all these relationships. Who's creating all these divorces? It's the kids. Yep. I think it's the kids. The more I think about it, the more I think about I think it's the kids. So for the single people out there, let me just give you a piece of advice. When you are dating, it's not just important to get to know the adult that's in front of you or the adult that you have decided that you're going to date, the adult that you fell in love with, the adult that you just love them so much, right? You just getting to know the adult. It is more important that you get to know the child in that same person. You need to find out what their childhood was like. What type of traumas have they experienced as a child? Because I guarantee you might be thinking you're in a relationship with an adult, but as soon as problems arise, you're going to have to contend with that child in that adult, especially if it's a trigger from their trauma when they was a child. Most adult people are triggered by childhood trauma. And that is typically the thing that breaks up relationships. And I don't think we be thinking about that. I really don't. We be talking about they're narcissists, they're manipulative, they're abusive, they're mean, they're inconsiderate. We talk about all these things. But had you known them as a child, if you had a good picture of how their childhood was, if you knew what their childhood traumas was, you would be more likely to understand them, to give them grace, to be able to talk it through, because now you know what you need to address. You know what you need to address. Because sometimes we don't even realize we're being triggered. It takes two emotionally intelligent adults to have a successful relationship. Love does not keep a relationship together. It does not. It does not. And I say that because most of us don't even know what it is to love. We feel like we think it's a feeling. It's not a feeling, it's a decision. It's a commitment. It's a commitment. It's action. We really think it's a feeling. Yep. Solely a feeling. Myself included. I know it is a commitment, but it is based on my feelings. It is genuinely based on my feelings. Because if you hurt my feelings bad enough, and if you don't apologize like I think you should, I'm going to feel some type of way. And that feeling some type of way is going to result in resentment. And eventually, it's just going to erode the relationship. Most people are like that. But then when you know, like for those relationships where you know the child, I'm not saying it won't break up, But I'm saying, at least you know what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be like, they changed. Let's stop saying they changed and let's start saying, now I'm dealing with the child. Don't say it to them though, because then they're going to be offended. But in your mind, you know where you done crossed over into the child. They didn't change. I mean, they changed, but they was that person all along. You just hadn't tapped in to the kid. That's just like, I hear people, people with wisdom will say, with men are nothing but little boys, in terms of, not to be disrespectful, but in terms of when boys are young, they'll do so many things just to get attention, just to get a good job, just to get a wow factor. But then when they get to be an adult, you don't get that. You get that's what you supposed to do, or you a deadbeat, or you ain't doing enough. It's never enough. And no matter how many hoops they jump through, like, they're just looking for, oh, that was good. And oftentimes they don't get that. So in that regard, that's what I'm talking about. Little girls, for example, we tend to grow up, not all of them, we tend to grow up with dolls and playing house. So we have this like colorful imagination of what a family should be. And so as we get to be an adult, a lot of times we have that expectation. That is not necessarily a realistic expectation. Not necessarily a realistic expectation. So when your wife is telling you not to touch the towels that's in the bathroom, the decorative towels, and the guy is trying to figure out, like, that's stupid. Like, the towels were made to be used. Why are you putting towels in the bathroom that you don't want me to touch? Or why are you putting candles around that you don't want nobody to burn? That's, to a guy, like, that doesn't make any sense, because a candle has a wick and the wick is burned. Like, that's the whole point. But for the girl, in a lot of cases, it's the whole fantasy. It's the whole, I just wanted to stay like this. This is so beautiful. It's so nice. That came from playing with them dolls in the dollhouse. That's where that came from. Or you grow up and then you go in the department store and it looked the same. It looked the same. So then, because that just appeased the child in you. It's the kids that's breaking up the relationships. Y'all thought I was talking about the other kids. No. I'm talking about these kids. Every adult was once a kid. Every adult was once a kid. You are dealing with the whole person from birth to adulthood. You dealing with the whole person. You can't eliminate the fact that they childhood. You can't eliminate that. Can't eliminate that. Can't eliminate that. And I should turn right there. I don't just mean, it's not I talk about the trauma because oftentimes that's what winds up breaking up a relationship. But let's talk about outside of breaking up. You really should know the child, because then you really know who that person is. Deep down under. Because, once you get to be an adult, life will convert you into something that you're not. But when someone knows the child, then they have a better idea. Because you don't want to be in a relationship with the person that the world has created. You want to be in a relationship with the person who God created. So you need to know them. We know each other. I need to know that you played the violin when you was in 2nd grade. That's important. You don't think it's important? It's important. It's important to know. Because here's the other thing too. In the moments when you about to crash out, because life is just lifing, you need somebody to bring you back. Because just like your trauma can break up a relationship, your good stuff can save one. If you got that one person, who you doing life with, that knew that you played the violin in 2nd grade, you can capitalize off of that, and that could potentially be the thing that bring them back. Help them shift gears. Help them just think about something different. Help them think about the good times. You gotta get to know the child of the person who you in a relationship with. And I don't mean drilling. You don't drill nobody. When you going out to eat, y'all going to all these places while you're dating, just casual conversation. Ask questions. Listen. Not like you looking at a resume or like you taking an application, but just casual conversation. And then you don't take sensitive things and like throw it back at them, because once you say something, like, you can't unring a bell, right? So people think that I'm sorry or I didn't mean it is an eraser. It's not an eraser. It's like that person, if that person has the capacity to give you grace about that. It don't make it, I'm sorry does not make it go away. So you gotta be careful what you say. You cannot unsay words. You can't unsay them. I wish somebody would get that. You cannot unsay words. If I go completely off the rails and just seemingly say a lot of hurtful things, I shouldn't say seemingly, I go off the rails and say a lot of hurtful things, you will not hear me apologize. If whatever words I say to you, I mean every single one. Every single one. I'm not apologizing. But some people say things in the heat of the moment that they don't mean. Or do they mean them? And then they just lie afterwards and say they don't mean them. Either way, it don't matter. Don't say it if you don't mean it.